Well, let's go ahead and get started with our story here. Now, the Lord actually married Winter. She was a very beautiful woman in a pale white dress. We'll find out, though, she was kind of cold, which just means you're not very warm and emotional with other people. So that kind of sounds like Winter. He went ahead and married her and took her to his castle. Now, long ago, they used to build these very strong buildings called castles, and kings and queens would live in them. They were great because they were made out of rock and stone, and no one could capture the castle because it was very hard to attack. So he had his own castle. He was rich.
Right, so he could keep her there all to himself. She did not struggle, which means she did not fight against him, but she only stared at him with a cold, cruel smile. Now, to stare just means to look at something or someone for a long time and not look away. So she would just stare at him, and it was a very cold and cruel look or expression. And I suppose it made him feel very uncomfortable.
Yeah, she doesn't sound very nice, does she? Well, on their wedding night, the other seasons, spring, summer, autumn, visited the Lord's dreams again. So they came back while he was asleep, and he saw them in his dreams. And they warned him about his new bride, Winter. Now, when you talk about a wedding, it's when two people get married. Usually you have a big wedding ceremony. You invite lots of friends and family to come and see. Well, the night of their special wedding, that's when he had some more dreams about his new bride.
And in that dream, Spring came to visit him, and Spring said that you better watch out because she will try to escape. She will try to get away. So here Spring was warning him, telling him ahead of time that this might happen.
Yeah, so she probably knows what Winter is like, right? Well, Summer says you have to keep the sunlight and the plants. It was very important for him to always have those two things so that he could blind and bind her every night. Again, when you blind someone, you do something so they can't see. Have you ever played a game with a blindfold? It's a piece of cloth you tie around your eyes so you can't see what's happening. Well, that means you blind someone. Now, if you bind someone, again, you tie them up so they can't move or get away.
That's right. Okay, so again, Spring said you need to hide them from her during the day because if she finds them, then she will destroy them and then she'll be free. So if she can find those two things, she of course will get rid of them. She will destroy them. Who wouldn't do that, right? And of course, as a result of that, she would be able to get away or escape.
Now, those two things, sunlight and plants, actually represent other seasons, not winter. If it's winter, there's not a lot of sunlight or plants. So if she sees them, she wants to destroy them, kill them, so winter can stay around much longer. So what did the Lord do? Well, he locked the sunlight and plants in a box, and he hid that box beneath their marriage bed so that she couldn't see them. So that was his plan, to hide those things from his bride. Now, marriage is similar to wedding. A marriage is a relationship two people have after their wedding occurs. So you could say, hey, are you married? Oh, how did that go? How long have you been married? But the marriage is actually when the wedding actually takes place.
And marriage also talks about the time that you are married to somebody. So, for example, people might ask you, how is your marriage? Or do you have a happy marriage? Yes, my wife and I and my children get along very well. We're very happy. We have a wonderful marriage here. But here they have a special bed that they sleep in because they are married, and he hid these things underneath the marriage bed. And every day just before sunset, he would blind and bind her again. Now, sunset, of course, is the time when the sun goes down at the end of the day. And remember, he was taking those things out of the, I guess, a box that was underneath the marriage bed. Let's get back to that word marriage here again. It's our word power word for today. We'll take a closer look.
Word Power. Hi, and welcome to Word Power. Today's word is marriage. Today we read that the Lord hid some things under his marriage bed. Marriage is a noun and means a legal union between two people. Most people hope to have a long and happy marriage. We also talk about strong marriages. For example, Nick and Rachel have a strong marriage and can handle any problems they face. As a verb, the word becomes marry and means the action of two people starting a marriage. For example, Keith asked Grace to marry him. After two people have been married, we say they are married to each other. For instance, Rob is married to Rachel. That's all the time we have for Word Power today. Thanks for listening.
Well, during the day, he would hide those things under the bed. Usually, the man of the house is outside during the day, and she is inside. So if she saw them, she would probably take them. So he hid them from her during the day. But just before sunset, which is the time of day when the sun goes down, that's when he would blind and bind his bride. And he wouldn't release her or let her go until sunrise. Sunrise is the opposite of sunset. Sunrise is the time of the day when the sun rises or comes up in the sky and you start a new day. Now then he would hide the sunlight and plants before she woke up. So this was his plan.
That's right. And that was his plan. Hopefully it was going to work for him. We'll find out if it continued to work in just a couple of seconds, but you'll have to wait because we're going to listen to our Chinese teacher right now.